Welcome to We Geek podcast. Where me and my friend Logan,
Hello.
hello, geek out weekly about any news or upcoming thing. And if you're listening to this is April 8th. And I had a pretty busy weekend. What about you, Logan?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Well, my family celebrates Easter, and so I had to run around. Went to my mom's, went to my grandparents. Tried to get in some video games, and read some stuff. But man, it's just a busy weekend. Hopefully, this upcoming weekend. Oh, never mind. Actually, just remembered, I have MegaCon this weekend, so and Game of Thrones and Daredevil, I think. So it's gonna be packed. It's gonna be
So
packed.
what were you saying about having a nice, calm, sort of not busy weekend?
Right, yeah, that just went out the window real fast.
Yeah.
But it should be fun nonetheless. It's also my I got a friend. It's her birthday, so we're gonna go. I just remembered that we're gonna go out too. So it's gonna be pretty packed. And yeah, hopefully I can get away and geek out on some stuff and not have to be social. So, but yeah, man. If you want to, what we'll do is, go over the same thing every week. We'll go into video games and comics, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna save kind of TV for last, and then we're gonna talk about the big movie of the weekend, Furious 7, and we'll go into that, and then we will let you know when we go into spoiler mode, and if you haven't seen the movie, that's when you can shut it off and come back later. But if you have, you can sit there and geek out with us about that. So yeah, man. Let's. We don't have to get into it too fast, but how was it? What'd you do this weekend?
Worked.
Work. Oh, there
Yeah.
you go. That's
Yeah.
definitely a way to spend it. I just had to work Saturday, but Sunday I had off, and I got a few things. Remember I was talking about I was going to get the new 3DS, and I decided to do that. So I'm excited. I had a 3DS a few years ago, and I liked it. I loved it. I love the Nintendo games. That's where I got my Nintendo fix. I had a Wii, years ago, but that was kind of the last console I had of theirs. I haven't touched the Wii U or anything like that, but the library on this thing is just so massive. I thought, okay, it's time to do it. And I pulled the trigger, and I'm glad I did. I started playing some Bravely Default, and it's beautiful. Holy crap! I had no idea.
Nice.
I got Pokemon Ruby, and what else did I get for it? Animal
A Link Between
Crossing
Worlds.
and Zelda,
Yeah.
Link Between Worlds. So I'm excited to dive into that. But yeah, man, you've been playing the 3DS, right?
Yeah. I've actually I've been playing a lot of A Link Between Worlds, and it's fun. I'm about halfway through, I think, give or take, and it's old school Zelda. I love it.
Yeah, and that's what I like. I think the last console Zelda I played was Twilight. Was it Twilight Princess? The one with the wolf, right?
Yeah.
I think, yeah. But I guess we can get into it. The news that we last week we had what we thought was going to be the Nintendo Direct, and now we actually have what was the Nintendo Direct, and it wasn't that far off.
Not really.
No, yeah, not really. They had like the new Amiibo lineup, which I don't want to go anywhere near because that looks addicting as hell. I do gotta say, there is one that I do want, which is the Yoshi one, which is like yarn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so different. I was like, that looks cool. I'd probably get that. And I saw that they have it where, and this is what I guess we always thought was coming, where with each amiibo, there's a demo of one of their games in case you haven't been a human for the last 25, 30 years. Well, I forgot how long it's been. What's it been, 20 years? 25 years since Super Mario Brothers?
30.
30.
Yeah.
You're right. They're
Close
coming up
to
on the
it.
anniversary. So yeah, I guess each amiibo is going to come with a demo of one of their classic games. So in case you've never played Super Mario Brothers or Super Mario World or something like that.
Well, they did in Super Smash Brothers for Wii U. You could unlock demos like that.
Oh, okay. That's
So that was
cool.
kinda
That's
neat.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I thought that was neat. They had they showed some of the Splatoon game, which looks neat. It looks fun. It looks like their answer to like, hey, how can we get like an arena first person shooter type game on this console because no one else is coming over here. So yeah, it looked fun. There's like a new mode in Mario Kart for 200cc. Because I guess it's always been at 150, right?
Yeah, it's usually like 50, 100, 150.
Yeah, and I'll be honest. I played Mario Kart, I guess, like everyone else, but I never paid attention to that, so I didn't know much about it. But yeah. So I saw that they have a new Animal Crossing level in it. They had a new Fire Emblem game that they were showing for the 3DS, which looks interesting. Are you interested in that at all?
No.
No. Yes. Yeah.
I've just never been a fan.
Well, see, I've never played the series, but when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, that looks pretty cool." It looked interesting to me. I've seen the characters in some things, but they're in Smash Brothers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know anything about them. I saw they had an Attack on Titan game. Which have you seen the series?
I have not. No.
Oh man,
I know.
Yeah, well, see, here's the thing. As a kid, I loved Dragon Ball Z. Well, I guess I wasn't a kid. I don't know what grade I was in. I was like maybe, yeah, it was it middle school or high school? I forget. But yeah, when I was introduced to it, it might have been middle school. I don't know. We'll go back to that. But when I was introduced to it, I liked. It was right after like Pokemon came, and that's when I was at the age where I was like, all right, cool, I did Pokemon, but I didn't move on, but I was like, okay, that was a fun game. That was a cool animated little TV show that I became obsessed with for a minute. But after that, there wasn't anything anime that I like got into or anything like that. And then my friend told me about Dragon Ball Z, and I became obsessed when I started watching. I was like, wait, they're killing people? Oh my god, that guy's head got taken off. Who's this Vegeta guy? Wait, his hair turned gold? Spoiler alert. But I was in, and it was like each week you would wait, and you were like, is he gonna kill him this week? Is he gonna kill Frieza? And then 2 months later, the same fight. You're like, oh god, I was hooked. I was hooked from the beginning. And after that, no anime. I've never got into anime. Never. People would tell me about things, but it wasn't my thing. That was a geekdom that I just never got into.
Yeah.
And then about a year or so ago, my buddy was like, you should try Attack on Titan. And I guess I've seen images of it before because I've been to MegaCon and stuff like that, but I never knew what it was. I was like, why does that guy have no skin? He's like really tall. So anyway, he told me about it, and then it's on Netflix. So I started watching it, and it doesn't have like an English dub, so that it was kind of like reading for hours. but it was cool. It was super interesting, and now I believe it's English dubbed if that's your thing. But yeah, it's on Netflix, man. So check it out. It's super cool. Like, I like the world that they build with it and the mysteries, because it's every episode. It's like, wait a second, what you think is happening kind of isn't, and you think certain people, I don't know, but I won't go into it, but it's super cool. I enjoyed it. I can't wait to see the second season. But that's kind of been like I said, from Dragon Ball Z, it's been years since anything like that came across. But yeah, so they have a game, and I guess the first 2 episodes they're putting on the 3DS. I haven't really watched any. I know 3DS is Netflix, but
yeah,
I haven't really watched anything on it. They have a new Fatal Frame. Did you ever play any of the Fatal Frame series?
I didn't. It was something that kind of looked interesting, but I thought, I'll get around to it. And then, I just didn't.
Right, yeah, me either. Never got into it. It looked interesting because you have, it's like you're walking around and you have the Wii U controller, which is like a screen. And the only way to see the ghosts, like screwing with you, is to raise I guess the controller and look through the controller to see the ghost, which is super interesting. But yep, I mean, I don't have a Wii U, so I think it's gonna come. It's gonna be one of the things that, like, we're gonna wait until E3, and when I see what they're coming out with, and I see like Star Fox and stuff like that, that's probably when I'll get excited enough to get it. But I have a lot of things to do between now and then. Like I said in the last podcast, I'm getting a car, like, in the next month. I'm getting a new car. So that's all that's kind of been put on the back burner. But yeah, let's go down the list here. It's I think we said that there was Nintendo 64 games and Super Nintendo games going to be on the Wii U, but it's Nintendo DS games and Nintendo 64 games. Like Paper Mario, which I guess that's where they're kind of maybe that's what
That
they
was
got
probably
leaked,
where it
whatever.
came from, yeah.
Right, Mario Kart DS, Donkey Kong 64, Yoshi Touch and Go, WarioWare, which is cool. They're all right around $10. And did you ever play any of those?
Paper Mario. Big time.
That's right, Paper Mario,
Yeah.
Paper Mario. It's gonna be interesting to see how they do the DS games on there. And why haven't they released any of the Pokemon series digitally?
You know,
Like the
I
classic
don't know.
ones.
I don't have an answer to that one.
Like
I really don't.
it's so much money on the table. Why would they not put, I guess it'd be the Game Boy Advance versions of Red and Blue. I guess it'd be Red and Green. Put we already have, I guess, the DS versions of the Platinum and the Gold. Why would they not do that? Or Silver and Gold, I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, we had Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and I think, I don't know, maybe they think going back to Gen 1 to re-release it, even, not even update it, but just a re-release, maybe they think it's not a good idea. I don't know.
Right. Exactly. And if for just a moment, if I can fanboy for just a second, it would be super cool and would be a system seller. I think it would get people out buying the Wii U. Is if at E3 they just said, guys, guess what? We're going to make what everyone's always wanted. We're going to make a open world Pokemon game for the Wii U where you can play in 3 or 4, however many of the regions you want to, and we're going to have Pokemon number 1 through 700 and whatever in the game. Just make it a platform, just kind of how Destiny is. That would that's a dream. But
you're basically you're describing No Man's Sky with Pokemon, essentially.
Right, exactly. Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be as massive as No Man's Sky, but you could always do, I don't know, just put 3 or 4 of the regions in there and have it like a Wii U interface. Just make it basically 3D. I mean, the 3DS does a great job of, the graphics look really good in the new Pokemon games. Like I said, I just got Ruby, and I played X before, and I mean, it doesn't matter how old I get, I'm not ashamed to say I love those games. And they've gotten just better over time. All the stuff you can do in it, and I mean, the graphics are just dope. So it's just, if you were Nintendo, why would you not make that move and put that on the Wii U instead of releasing Stadium 3 or 4 times, pretty much. But that's what would be the system seller for me. I would go the next day and buy it if that was announced. but yeah, well, that's Nintendo. What games have you been playing recently?
Okay. Well, like I said, I've been playing A Link Between Worlds, and I've also been playing Theatrhythm Curtain Call, the Final Fantasy rhythm game. Mm-hmm. And that's been fun, because I'm a sucker for rhythm games, as long as I don't have to dance.
Right.
Because that's never good for anybody involved.
Yeah, I thought they have a Persona dancing game or something gonna be released soon.
Yeah. Hey, best of luck, really.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But no, that's pretty much been it, really.
Yeah, I've been playing some Bloodborne and Axiom Verge, and I think I talked a little bit about that last week, and they're so good. Bloodborne, I've gotten a lot farther in it, but I haven't. But I've learned to master kind of the first area, so I've kind of been farming, and I'm just learning so much different crap in that game, like how to just where before I would be failing, where now I'm cutting through the kind of first level area like butter, and I'm getting to then I'm getting to the point where I'm fighting these specific kind of wolves, and they're just killing me. And then I realize, I gotta level up, and I didn't realize how to do that in the game. I figured out how to get gear on and stuff like that. But to actually level up, I didn't realize how to do that. And so I got to the point where I was like, I can't beat these guys. Like, these wolves are destroying me. And then I figured that out and got through it. But yeah, I've been loving Bloodborne. Axiom Verge is just like Super Nintendo wet dream, pretty much. You're getting all that. You find the different guns, you find the different abilities, and you're able to backtrack, and then I just, this area here, I needed that specific kind of gun, or I needed that raincoat or lab coat, I'm sorry, to go through the wall. So now I can like go to specific areas I couldn't before. So it's that classic, the Metroidvania. Yeah. It's just been a ton of fun. So I found myself spending a lot of time doing that in my free time. There's too much stuff. I think I've said that before. Like, there's just too much content out there, too much stuff to do, and too little time to do it. Because I got caught up, doing the family thing and hanging out with my friends. And most of that time I was like, God, I don't want to be here. I'd rather just be relaxing at home and not doing this. But yeah, man, Axiom Verge and Bloodborne, highly recommend it to anyone who has a PlayStation. I think they're both PlayStation exclusive, so yeah, get on that. And I saw that, what was it, Dark Souls 2 was just released on PS4 this week, and I thought, well, that's bad timing. Why would you put that up against Bloodborne at all? But yeah, let's see here. So, did you see the Square Enix reveal thing?
I did, whatever that is.
Right? Yeah, no, I was watching. I listened to this well, it's not a podcast, I guess like a YouTube show, the Kind of Funny people, and in the comments, I'm sorry, on their Facebook page or whatever, someone posted, "Hey, have you guys seen this?" And it's a Twitch live stream of a guy in a cell, and it looks very much like Saw. Well, no, the cell looks modern. It looks like a cell someone would be in the Resident Evil movies, I guess. but like, he's just like doing push-ups, and you can change the camera. Like, if you type in change camera, it changes the camera to a different point. I think when it started, when this live stream, it's been on for a few days now apparently. Like, he was just face down on the concrete, and he wakes up, and then he's in this room banging on the windows, and like, people watch him all day. It is the creepiest thing I've seen a video game company try to push the game. And I guess it's what was it, a new Deus Ex game?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's what's it called? Okay. Mankind Divided, I think.
Right. And did you ever play any of that series?
I played a little of Human Revolution, and then for whatever reason, I just kind of fell out of it. So it's one that I want to go back to because I did enjoy it a lot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, I've heard nothing but great things. Never played them, but yeah, it was kind of during that time where I wasn't playing much of anything, and I think it was on PC, right?
Well, it also came. The original was, but Human Revolution came to console.
Oh, okay, yeah. I remember some of my friends talking about them playing it on PC, and it was kind of around that time where I wasn't playing much, and then everyone told me, that's kind of one of those. That's one of those games that you got to play. Like, that's one of the classics. Yeah. But I never got into it. But it looks, it got my attention. I'll say that. I thought it was really strange. And what was if in case you guys are interested, and if it's still up tomorrow, the Twitch page was Can't Kill Progress, all one word. So if you want to search that, we got some new Mortal Kombat X stuff. I think they showed Goro over the weekend. Did you see that?
Well, they've been, like, this wasn't really news per se,
right?
Because everybody's known he's been a pre-order character forever.
Right. Yeah.
But no, it was just cool to see, actual, instead of just like, oh, hey, wait, that's a character model,
right? Like, instead of him coming out of the shadow cracking his knuckles every time.
Yeah.
It was cool to see him, like, how he would interact with the other characters, because it's always interesting to see, just because he looks massive, like he just grabs you and there's nothing you can do about it. Mm-hmm. And it looks cool. I'm excited for Mortal Kombat. I think it comes out next week, I believe.
Next Tuesday. Oh yeah.
It's come to the point where like I think we've seen too much. Like I hope that they're saving little things. You played the other Mortal Kombat, the last one that they did before Injustice?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. And spoiler alert for that game, but there's a cyborg Sub-Zero. And so that was one of the big surprises for that game. I hope they do something for this one. I hope they I don't want to see they've showed a lot of characters, and I guess you have to do that for a fighting game. But I guess they've kept the story relatively
that they haven't expounded on any.
Good, and that's good. Yeah, so I like that, and it's if you would have told me 10 years ago the story of Mortal Kombat would be interesting, I'd be like, okay, like I like the game, right? But so I'm looking forward to that. I hope they have some surprises. We know that what is it, Liu Kang and who's the guy with the hat?
Kung Lao.
Kung Lao, yeah, they're both like bad. They're on the bad guys.
Spoiler alert for the last Mortal Kombat game. They died.
Right,
so
yeah.
That's why they're fighting for Netherrealm, because that's where they live now.
That makes sense. So, hopefully in this game they get, resurrected, switch back to the other side. But it's Mortal Kombat, so I just hope we know it's going to be crazy. It's going to be out there. They're going to be over the top, and I'm really going to enjoy it. I've liked what NetherRealm has done with their last two games. So,
remember they killed Liu Kang before.
Right, yeah, he was a zombie in one of them, right?
Yeah, because Raiden brought him back, and that didn't go
Would you call him Raiden? I always called him Raiden. Have I been saying it wrong this whole time?
I go back and forth. Don't ever judge pronunciations by me.
Oh, okay. But yeah, no, I remember when he was a zombie, and that was I think the one Mortal Kombat game I didn't, like Armageddon or something. I didn't. That's when I was like, okay, I've had enough. I've had my fill. And then when they came back and just called it Mortal Kombat and it looked dope, I was like, okay, I'm in with this one. And then Injustice, you got to think they're working on Injustice 2 as well, or like some other DC kind of fighting game.
Maybe. No? I don't. Just because I don't know where you go from there.
Well, it doesn't have to be, I think, Injustice, but it could be. The game was good. I think it sold a lot, more than what they were expecting. And they've kind of, I thought I read where he's basically like, we have two teams. We have one for Mortal Kombat. We have another one for the DC kind of thing. So, it'd be interesting. I would enjoy another, not necessarily Injustice, but maybe like a DC fighter of some sort. Especially because they have, all these new movies coming out and everything. I saw that. Did you read that? I guess, like most YouTubers that, you ever seen Angry Joe's videos?
No.
For the video game review. He's kind of big on, YouTube. He's not like, well, I'd say, PewDiePie. I know neither of us watch him, but he's super popular. Angry Joe's kind of on that, like, in that stratosphere, I guess. He's super popular. He does video game reviews. He does a lot of skits when he's doing them and stuff. He makes them fun. But he's got a lot of followers. He's got a lot of people that watch him, and he's come out and said that he stopped covering Nintendo games, which I imagine every huge YouTuber that covers any Nintendo games is going to be doing because of their policy.
Yeah.
And, they're just getting screwed over. Yeah, I guess he got sent an email and had a YouTube video taken down because he did like a Mario Party 10 video or something, and he was like, okay, that's it. We're just going to stop covering it. And I told you before, I watched the Kind of Funny people, Greg Miller and Colin and them. And they, they said if we get anything like that, that's when we stop doing Nintendo. And we've discussed that before, where Nintendo's kind of dropping the ball with that a little bit. Do you have any other video game news?
I don't think so.
Right. Okay.
No, I think that's it for me, at least.
Right. And we're really low on comic news too this week. Like I said, I've been super busy. I've started reading a little bit. I got my iPad, so I got the Comixology, and I've been getting some of because I need to get caught up with Walking Dead. I really want to get back into that. There's like 10 or 15 issues I haven't read yet.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I want to start reading Invincible. I heard, forgot that it's like 118 or whatever the new one is a great starting point. So I might do that. And I mean, I'm probably like you, just waiting for, Secret Wars, I think is next month, and Convergence actually would be live today, the new Convergence, and I'll probably run up to the comic shop Thursday or Friday, grab a beer and just look and see. I'll probably get Convergence 1 and then see what other issues are interesting. It's going to be all pre-New 52, and it's weird because I'm sure people who were longer comic book fans than I am are gonna really enjoy it. But I'll be honest, I didn't get into New 52. I mean, I didn't get back into DC like really into it until New 52. Before that, I read like Hush, which was great. I read their events pretty much,
Yeah.
but besides that, I wasn't reading Superman or Batman or anything like that except for Hush. When I heard Jim Lee was doing Hush, I was like, okay, I'm on that, and I read that.
Well, I mean, the thing with DC was, we were coming up on like Action Comics 900, and I think that was a big turnoff to people to try to jump back in. So,
right.
Hence Flashpoint, hence the New 52, and now Convergence is kind of like, hey, we're gonna take a break from current continuity, and we're gonna have like our own little, not a Secret Wars ripoff exactly kind of story, based on all kinds of other I'll get it out eventually, realities and universes. I mean, we have Flashpoint and Kingdom Come and 1,000,000, and just the list goes on and on.
Right. Yeah. No. It's that's the thing though, because I mean, even with DC now, I'm not even into DC that much anymore. I like Batman, but I can't think of another series. And I don't know. When I go up to the shop, I'll talk to some of the people there and see what's interesting. But it hasn't. I mean, I like Marvel, I guess, for the last year or so. That's pretty much what I've been reading, and not DC. So it's gonna be cool to see what they have. I know the old school kind of comic book fans are excited for it, but we'll see. I don't really have much comic news. I'm going to MegaCon this weekend, so I'm pretty excited about that. Gonna probably see some people from The Walking Dead. Let's see. Stan Lee's gonna be there. I've met him before though, so I'm probably yeah. So it's let's see here. Let's see what are some of the people there. And I'm going over it real fast. Michael Rooker, I'm probably gonna, yell at him. Can't wait to see him in Mallrats too.
Yes, the full crew is now
Right.
assembled again. Everybody's back.
Oh, they
And
that's cool.
A quick detour because you brought that up. They are Kevin has shifted his filming schedule. It was going to be Clerks 3 and then Mallrats 2. But now it's going to be Mallrats 2 and then Clerks 3 this year.
Oh, that's cool. I imagine with Clerks 3, I mean, he keeps saying it's the closing of his little universe, but we'll see. But I think that's the one where he's going to want to cut it off with that, because I mean, unless he did a Mallrats 3, but yeah, that's going to be super cool. I'm excited about Mallrats 2 more than Clerks 3. Those characters, that's the Kevin Smith movie that that's when I got in. That's when I was like, okay, I like this. Yeah, and it's gonna be. I've always said it's gonna be cool with Brody sit there and talk about that kind of stuff in this day and age. So, but yeah, I mean, I see the Diggle, David Ramsey from Arrow is gonna be there. That's gonna be cool. The voice of let's see here. No, there's Lou Ferrigno is gonna be there. That's awesome. Yeah, Norman Reedus, Michael Rooker, Ron Perlman. Summer. Troy Baker's gonna be there. Cool. That'd be really
nice.
cool. Yeah, that'd be neat. Jimmy Hart and Hulk Hogan's gonna be there. That would be cool.
Wow. Okay. Sure. Why not?
Right, I want to shoot a promo with him. Oh, Rob Paulson's gonna be there.
Oh,
The voice of
excellent.
Wacko.
Yes.
Yes, that's awesome.
And Pinky, wasn't he?
Right, Pinky. Yeah, oh yeah, he's been the voice of so many things. He's got his own podcast. He was on speaking of Kind of Funny again, he was on their podcast not too long ago, in their little YouTube show, and yeah, he was super interesting to listen to, like, how he did what he did and how he got to, be where he was when, he was told, hey, we have an animated show, I think it was produced by Steven Spielberg, and he was just like, what? Like, are you kidding me? And yeah, so it's cool. It's gonna, let's see, they got Milo.
His podcast is just fantastic.
Oh, you listen to it? Okay, see, I didn't know that.
I do occasionally, because
okay.
I like when it's interviews or guest stars or co-stars or whatever.
Gotcha.
And the first one of those he did was with Maurice LaMarche, who was the brain. And it's just to sit and listen to these two tell stories back and forth was great. Not just to hear him do Pinky and the Brain again, but everything else. And kind of, it's because voice acting fascinates me. I'm terrible at it, but the world fascinates me, and I just, every time I see, Andrea Romano, I cannot speak the name. Andrea Romano was on an episode of The Nerdist here a little while back, and she, a lot of people listening to this will remember that she was the director for most of the cartoons at WB forever, and she's also done Avatar and Korra and so on. But just listening to those stories, I mean, that's just, it's mind blowing and it's hysterical, and I dig up every one of those that I can.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, speaking of that, I'm sure you've already heard it, but the Kevin Smith's his podcast Fat Man on Batman with Tara Strong.
Yes.
Yeah, like that's super interesting one. She's the voice of everything. Like
seriously,
it's cool to hear them, talk about like how they got into that, and then like, all these characters that didn't just land on their lap, but that they worked hard to get, and it's gonna be cool. There's some writers and artists that's gonna be MegaCon, like George Perez and Ed McGuinness, and it's gonna be cool. I'm not sure if I'm gonna. I think I might just go there and hang out and like see the event and see the see what they got there, and maybe I think if I go see anybody, it's probably going to be Daryl from Walking Dead. I'm thinking that would be super cool. Him or Mike Rucker, to just go and say hi to, and tell them how big of a fan I am. But and
they
got Karen Gillan. What? I'm sorry.
Sorry, I was saying get one of them to plug our podcast.
Right, yeah, exactly. You just pull up my iPhone, and I did that with I forget his name now. The voice of Vegeta. I had him do my actual voicemail, and I was like, "Hey, could you do a voicemail recording of Vegeta?" And he goes, "Absolutely," because I saw someone do that on YouTube, and he did like, "Hey, if you're getting this right now, me and Adam are training." It's the goofiest thing, but it's legit voicemail from Vegeta.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah, but I think my phone, it was on my old 5S and it broke, but I think the voicemail still saved somehow on my iCloud account. But anyway, I don't have much more to talk about comic book news. Unless you do, we can get into TV and movies.
No, this is kind of where the bulk of my news is this week too. Is with TV and movies in particular.
Well, I guess I'll get into what I have, and then I'm sure you got a whole bunch. But what about Stephen Amell starring in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as Casey Jones? I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm down.
Right, and I don't know if we even I forgot when that news broke. I don't know if it was last week.
I think it was, because I remember. I think we talked about it.
We did. Okay, all right. So I guess I've been just reading more into it, and what he's been saying. But what about Deadpool? Did you see all the new Ryan Reynolds stuff from it?
I have. I still don't care, but I've seen all the stuff.
To me, it's one of those things where I know Fox has burned me plenty of times when it comes to the X-Men stuff.
Uh-huh.
and Fantastic Four and everything else. So it's one of those things where I'm looking at it and I'm just nodding and I'm like, they're doing that right. They're doing that right. They're doing that right. They've nailed it there. That looks like Deadpool. Oh, he took his mask off and, he has the scarred face. That looks like Deadpool. The humor, the stuff behind it, I'm like, they're nailing it, and I'll wait until I see it before I get excited, I think. If they nail Deadpool, and I know I'm not that big of a fan of him, but if they get it right, I'll give props to Fox and say, okay, they did it right. But everything so far I've seen looks dead on. I mean, pun intended, it looks like Deadpool.
Yeah.
And I'll give them that. Like when I saw the with his mask off, it was like, okay, they scarred him up. It seems like, Ryan Reynolds is behind them doing it right, making it rated R. He pushed and fought for that. I saw his Twitter where he was screaming that he wanted it to be rated R, and they got it. So that's huge. Especially for a comic book movie, because they could be leaving a lot of money on the table, not making it PG-13. And having a little bit more of a, bigger audience. Let's see here. I saw that Star Wars is going digital. So, I mean, that's the thing. I bought the Blu-rays. I'm not going to get it digitally. What about you?
No.
Does that news interest you at all? No. Yeah, see, it's one of those things. I know it's the future digital. I mean, I don't buy movies anymore. The only thing I buy on Blu-rays are sets and movies that I know I'm going to enjoy 10 years from now, and that's kind of my mindset, is that, I have the Lord of the Rings on Blu-ray, I have Star Wars on Blu-ray, I have some of the movies. I used to buy DVDs and Blu-rays like crazy, and I look back like, what the hell was wrong with you, Adam? You spent way too much money on it, but nowadays I'm a lot more conservative when it comes to that, and I'll look at it and go, is that something I need? And is that something I'm going to want to watch 10 years down the road? And if it is, then I'll buy it. If not, then, I'm good. But Star Wars, I was like, no, I have the Blu-ray. There's no reason to own this. And it's on, like, a whole bunch of different platforms. So, like, I know that I know a lot of people are probably going to get it from, Amazon, iTunes, but then again, if you get it on iTunes, you can't watch it on everything.
Yeah.
Amazon would probably be the best bet, because odds are there's an Amazon app on everything.
Well, there's also a Vudu app on everything.
That's true. There's a PlayStation that you can buy it off the PlayStation Store, which I don't know if I'd recommend that, because you're not going to always have a PlayStation,
Right.
You might not. Digital's weird. It was one of those things where I saw that it was going, but it's not like big news like it's coming to Blu-ray. It was one of those like, oh, it's here on digital, and you're like, oh, okay. I love Star Wars, but not enough to drop another 100 on it.
Now, the only thing that would have made this news was if it was the original versions. That's the only thing that would have made this newsworthy.
Right, exactly. And here's the deal. I think that what I read is that Disney owns the distribution rights to all of them except the first one.
Figures.
Yeah, and Fox still owns the rights to that to distribute. So that would, you're absolutely right. If they were like, oh, here's the digital releases, and by the way, you can also buy the unaltered versions, people would be happy. People would be like, all right, done, sold, bought, in the cart, watching it now. So it was one of those things. It was like, oh, Star Wars news. Okay, yeah. That's
yeah, it's just like
What about Mad Men? Do you watch Mad Men?
No.
Oh, you don't? Oh, okay.
No,
it just came back this week, and
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I tried, and it's not my speed. It's just not. It's not my kind
super
of show.
Slow.
Yeah.
I mean, Mad Men. This is the way I describe it, because one of my other buddies got into it, and he was like nothing happens, and I'm like, it's kind of like just you see this guy's life, and that's it. There's no. I mean, towards the beginning, the first 3 seasons, there's some twists. Like, there's some, like, underlying stuff. But it's basically just a shot in the life of this guy who lives this extraordinary life, during that time frame. He's got a lot of money for that time period. And, I don't want to spoil it for anyone that gets into Mad Men, but like I said, the first few seasons, there's some underlying stuff where someone's hiding some things, not everything is what it seems. And that gets interesting. And then it's like after the third or fourth season, you're like, all right, I'm in. I can't just back out now. I can't just give this up because we know, the end date is very soon. So that's what it's like for me. I'm like, I'm in now. I might as well finish it and just get the story. It's one of those shows where people will look back, I think, and say, oh, that was good. But I don't think they'll go back and go, oh, that was like Breaking Bad or like Lost or like one of those shows that changed kind of television moving forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The best thing it has is going for it is the look. It nails the look from head to toe. It's dripping the decade, and the amount of detail they go into everything with that decade. Like I went, I love my grandparents. I see them all the time, and I introduced them to the show, and my grandfather and grandma were just like, "That's it." Like that looked like the 60s, like everything, the chairs he's sitting in, the cigarettes he's smoking, the way they talked, the way they acted, they nailed it. And so that's cool. I'm glad AMC, they kind of nail that, because moving forward with whatever they do, I love the time period type stuff. Oh, there was another show I just started. I think it's called Catching Fire. Is it, wait, what is it called?
No, sorry, I was confusing it with the Hunger Games.
Oh, okay.
Was it Halt and Catch Fire? I think.
Halt and Catch. Yes. That's it. Let's see. Yeah, Halt and Catch Fire. I started that. It's kind of cool. It's kind of it's got the guy from. He's in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's the bad guy in Guardians of the Galaxy. Let's see here. Yeah, Halt and Catch Fire. It's about this like startup kind of company, and it's about building, a revolutionary type of computer back in the 80s. So it's interesting. It's kind of boring at times, but I don't know. I started that because I'll always give AMC the benefit of the doubt and check out their new shows. There's a few other ones that I never checked out, but I haven't really heard much about, like Hell on Wheels. I never really gave that a chance. But I don't know. It was cool. AMC is going to have its plate full with, of course, Walking Dead and Walking Dead's spinoff. They have Preacher coming up, and I don't know. I'm interested. Let's see what else. What other kind of news do we got here? I don't have that much else. What about you? What's
I've got
in
a
your
good
TV?
bit here. Just kind of bouncing between movies and TV. We have confirmed that Olivia Wilde and Garrett Hedlund will be returning for Tron 3.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. What
yeah.
did you think of the sequel to Tron?
It was fine. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't hardcore Tron like a couple of guys I knew.
Yeah,
So
me neither.
I was like, okay, that was cool. That was neat.
Right.
I don't know if we need a third one per se, but hey, go for it. Why not?
You know what I found interesting? Some of my friends, they never saw the first one, and they thought that the last one was the first one. Because when I actually posted that article on Facebook. I think it was today, actually. I don't know why I just forgot it, but I was like, oh, they got a third one, neat. And my friends were like, oh wait, what happened to the second one? And I was like, that was the second one. And they're like, I was like, no, like the first, they thought it was a remake. I was like, no, like the Jeff Bridges, right? Like his character is the father, and he was the original character in the first one. And it's gonna be cool. I'm not into Tron really at all. When I saw that they're doing the second one, I was like, that looks neat. And then I saw it and I was like, okay, I'm good. That was worth, I guess, the red box rental. But other than that, it's like, okay, they're gonna do a third one. What are they gonna do? I mean, what else can they do in that world? But I don't know, it's cool. What other news you got?
Netflix developing Fuller House.
Oh,
yes.
That's right. It's called Fuller House, and it's like the whole original cast, right?
No.
Oh no, who's in it?
It's just DJ and like one of her friends. There will be cameos and guest spots, of course, but
okay.
It's it's just gonna be kind of a spin-off sort of sequel. And
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I mean, just like AMC, Netflix, I will totally give a chance to.
yeah.
With whatever shows they come out with. Some of them are good, some of them are not. But I usually give them the benefit of the doubt. Fuller House, that's cool. I mean, they have Girl Meets World, so why not?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where we're going now, really.
Right? It makes sense. I mean, with people that were kids, people our age, they're basically seeing the things that we enjoyed as kids, both movies and television, and they're like, all right, let's do it. Like, why not? Like, the nostalgia factor, it's going to kick in with these people.
Yeah.
And that's back when I thought, like I've said before, 90s had the best television, best movies, best video games. People, it's really going to draw people in, I think. And Netflix is cool. I mean, I don't even know what kind of show that would be. Would it be like a sitcom?
It would have to be, wouldn't it?
Right, but they haven't really done a sitcom. Like, Netflix isn't like a sitcom type show, like shows. It's kind of like they tell a story in 10 episodes kind of show. Wow, why did my mind just go blank there for a second? Yeah, no, why did my mind just go blank? With the flag upside down.
Yeah, House of Cards.
House of Cards, yeah. Edit. Let's cut that out. But yeah, just like House of Cards, their shows are like long. They're like 10-episode stories. They're 13-episode stories. Like Daredevil, I imagine it's not going to be like a sitcom. Like it's going to be like that would be an interesting sitcom. Like he walks in the courthouse and they start clapping. That would be cool. But I mean they have a late night show though too, right? Like Chelsea Handler. Or,
they're developing.
Developing
yeah.
that's gonna be interesting.
Awful.
Yeah. Oh, you're not a Chelsea Handler fan. I'm not either. I was never.
I'm just not. Garmy strong. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. But how is that going to work with Netflix though? I mean, Chelsea Handler aside, how do you do a late night show?
Yeah, just in general, I don't know.
Yeah, like they release it daily or something. That's another thing I wanted to talk about is the Powers thing. I've started to kind of watch it again. I do not like how they release 4 episodes and then 1 episode randomly throughout the week. And same thing with Community and on Yahoo. Like I haven't watched it. Like
really?
No, I haven't. And I love Community, but I haven't watched it because I heard that it was not all at one time, and that's not how I want my digital content. And I mean, I never thought I'd be like that, but I totally am. Like, I want it all at one time if it's going to be on the computer or through PlayStation or whatever. I don't want to. Netflix nailed it. I think they set the bar for that kind of distribution, and I don't like how the other people are doing it. I don't like how Yahoo's doing it. I haven't even watched Community the new season, and I don't like how Powers is doing it. And Powers is a great show. Like that would be big on Netflix, I think. So I don't like how PlayStation is releasing it weekly. The only time I know a new episode is out is when I log into my PlayStation to play a game. But usually when I do that, I have like something in mind I want to do. And I go, oh, that's cool, but I really want to play Bloodborne, and then I don't ever get to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where with Netflix, it's one of those things like you're out and about and you're doing something with your friends and you're like, oh hey, like I'm gonna go home and watch it, and you can watch it all the way through. But yeah, that's my little rant about that. I like that Netflix is doing, and I wish the other people would wake up and go, hey, let's do that too.
Well, there is one show that Netflix isn't doing that for. I forget which one it is, but there is one that they're just doing weekly. And I cannot remember which one it is.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I thought all their shows were like that.
No, there is one. It's not going to come to me. But,
yeah.
Yeah, no, well, I kind of agree. Like, we got spoiled when it came right down to it. And so now it's like, wait a minute, what do you mean you're trying to cling to the old model? Shame on you.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like yeah, Netflix set the standard. And it's like, I want it all there at one time. I don't want to log in every week. What's the point of that? Like, you might as well be on television because I can set my DVR at that point. And that's kind of one of those things, like, we've become, I guess, spoiled. Like you said, spoiled this generation. It's like, you just if you have cable, you just set the DVR. You don't worry about it. and then when you want to watch it, you can watch it. Like I do that with Better Call Saul, and that just finished up Sunday as well, which was really good. Like I don't know if you have you watched any of Better Call Saul?
I was waiting for the finale so
Okay.
that I can just do the whole season all at once, but I've heard nothing but good things.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, that's kind of one of those shows where there's episodes where not much happens, but it's really well done. And there's a lot of episodes where you're like, okay, I could totally tell they're trying a Breaking Bad feel for this episode. There's hints of that. And then one episode was just total Breaking Bad, and then it goes back to like this kind of strange dark comedy. But yeah, it's interesting. I'm interested to see the next season and kind of how, it's a cool story to see how he goes from who he is now to Better Call Saul, like how that even come up and all that other stuff. So I'm interested in that. I'd like to see them pick up some more episodes next season, because I think it's only like 10 episodes this season.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what was there was another one on Netflix that was just announced. Arrested Development got picked up for another season.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
and I'd really like if they did not do what they did last season. I did not like the one character an episode deal. Did you see the last season, the one
No.
that they put on Netflix?
That's a show that I've never really been interested in, really.
What?
Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
Arrested Development's hilarious. Money in the Banana Stand. Yeah, and I guess you don't understand the reference because you never watched it, but
Nope.
but yeah, it's that show was so funny. And then what they did is in Netflix, it's funny when all the characters are kind of bouncing off of each other. And like you have the straight guy Michael, who's just like the only sane person in his family, and then you have all these crazy wacky characters, his sisters and his dad and his son, who's just weird and awkward. Michael Cera plays him, and like you just see him like Job. What's his name plays Job? The guy who he was in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Will Arnett?
Yeah, my mind's going blank, but yeah, like you see all these crazy characters, like always scheming to either get money or screw someone over, and he's just like, what is wrong with all of you? And what happened was in the Netflix, and then it went to Netflix. They after years of being canceled, all of those actors became super big. Then it went to Netflix, and what they did, because their schedules are so busy, they did like, he would visit one character a week or one character an episode. And there wasn't that much of an interaction, and it was kind of like you saw the life in a day, or you saw all of their lives in one day, and they kind of all intertwined. But it just they work better working off of each other than they do kind of by themselves. So I hope in the new season they don't do that. They get them all together and they shoot it for a few weeks, and it's good. But yeah. Any other TV news?
The Muppets are coming back to ABC.
What?
Yeah.
Wow, that's out of left field. That's cool.
Yeah, no kidding. Bill Prady and Bob Cushnow. He produced Anger Management.
Oh, okay.
Bill Prady, of course, from The Big Bang Theory.
Wow.
Those two are gonna kind of helm the ship for the new Muppets show.
So is it gonna be? Yeah, so it's gonna be like the Muppet Show, like they used to have.
We really don't know. That's kind of all we know right now.
Oh, that would be cool. Wow, that's cool. Oh, my buddy would love that. He loves the Muppets. Yeah, no, that's interesting. Did you see the last Muppet film?
I did.
I didn't.
Sadly.
I think I saw the first 30 minutes, but I forgot what happened. I didn't see the rest.
Yeah, you didn't miss much.
Right, there was like an evil Kermit.
Yeah.
He was French or something, or I don't know.
Russian,
that's what it was. Yeah, he had a mole or something, but I didn't watch the rest of it. The one with what's his name? God, my mind's going blank. But the one before that, when they kind of came back,
right?
That one was cool. I liked that. I thought that was fun. I saw
that. Was a nice. That was a nice little reunion tour.
Right, exactly. I
dug
was
that.
downtown with some friends, and we got hammered, and probably wasn't the best idea to go to a Muppets film because there was a bunch of kids, but it definitely made the film hilarious because we were like, "What is going on? This is ridiculous," and of course we were watching the Muppets, so of course it's gonna be ridiculous, but it was fun. Well, that's cool. That's fun to see them back. But yeah, no, it's to me it hasn't been that busy of a week for news as it was, it seems, the last 2 weeks. But you know, we if there's anything else you want to talk about Fast and Furious.
Hang on.
Oh, okay.
Paul Feig has a new directing gig over at Fox.
Oh yeah, what is he doing?
The Play-Doh movie.
Wait, what?
You heard me. The Play-Doh movie.
Like Play-Doh, like the
Yes.
Wow. Well, I mean, they have a Lego movie.
I don't know. But like,
see, what Lego has going for it is all of the franchises they were able to get into the film, like the Ninja Turtle and the Star Wars,
exactly,
and all of that. Play-Doh, what is that going to be like? Were they going to get Gumby to guest star? Like, how do you do a Play-Doh movie? Like, it's just ridiculous.
So, yeah,
but I like Paul
thing.
Feig, but I saw that you were you're going through X-Files again.
Well, the first time. Like, I've never seen
the
it.
First time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's rough. I remember when I started to not rewatch it. I've seen them throughout the years every once in a while. But they were on Netflix, and I was like, it was a few years back, and I was like, okay, well, you know, this has how many seasons? Like 7 or 9? 9. Jesus Christ. And they're like 24 episodes a season.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, okay, there's a
road.
guy underneath the escalator, like the first episode. And that one always freaked me out. And when I rewatched, I was like, oh, I remember this one. And it's a lot of Monster of the Week, so prepare yourself.
Yeah, but I mean, I was prepared for that. And I don't really mind that so much.
Yeah, it's oh man, that's one series that I'd like to go back, but 9, that's daunting. That is a lot of content.
Well, it's not like I have anything else coming out on Netflix on Friday or anything.
Oh,
Yeah,
let's talk about that. Daredevil,
Yeah.
man. I downloaded the Netflix app for my iPad, and the first thing I saw was like, oh shit, is Daredevil out? Because it's at the top, and it's like a full trailer of it almost, and it's like, what? Or it says like, watch now, and then underneath it's like the trailer. I was like, oh, god damn it, I want to watch this. And I was like, oh, and I looked, and I was like, oh, it's on the 10th. Okay, that's this weekend. And kind of like at the beginning of the show, I was like, oh, I'm going to do nothing this weekend. Then I was like, oh shit, everything is happening this weekend, and I'm not going to have any time, but damn it, I will make time for Daredevil. I'll definitely have it finished by the next time we do this next week.
Yeah. That's definitely my plan.
Oh yeah. I'm super excited. And we got Game of Thrones, I think, this weekend too.
Sunday. Yeah.
Sunday, yeah, I see. And I saw that with the HBO Now, not HBO Go, but the HBO Now, they have it exclusive for Apple products for, I don't know, I think it's like 3 months or 6 months or something like that.
I think 3.
But what you can do is there's a 30-day free trial. And so I downloaded the app on my iPad, and it said 30-day free trial. Well, I just realized I can also sign into HBO Now on my computer, and you can watch it on your computer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the 30-day free trial, put it on my computer, plug my computer directly into my TV, and watch Game of Thrones this Sunday.
There you go.
Yeah, and I don't have to, get my cousin's friends, whoever's that uses HBO Go, and then have everyone try to log in at the same time, at least for the first, 30 days, which is, I think, what, like half that season?
Usually, close to it.
A little over a quarter. I'll probably, I'll pay for the next one. It's $15 a month, so I'll just pay for one more month, and that's it. I mean, $15 is worth it for the season of Game of Thrones, so that's cool. But yeah, I'm excited for that. Love Game of Thrones. I saw that they said that the seasons are going to spoil the books.
Well, because I mean, they kind of have to. really. And I saw people getting so upset about that, and I thought, guys, you have to realize the show must go on, as corny and cliche and everything as that sounds. They have a job to do, and they can't slow down the pace, because then the show suffers, and then it all falls apart, because this is a ridiculously expensive show to make.
Right.
So they can't afford delays. And George has to do his thing, and he's going to write at his own pace, and that's this is just the reality of it. The show is going to surpass the books. It's going to or rather overtake the books is what I mean. And that's just how it is. If you don't want the books spoiled, don't watch the show, and vice versa. But there are going to be differences. We've seen them already. For anybody who's a fan of the books and the show, they've seen some of them subtle, some of them not so subtle. But there've been, that's how it goes.
That's the way the cookie crumbles. I totally agree. Like, and then that's what I thought too, was like, oh, if it's going to spoil the books for you and you first started reading them years ago before everyone became fans, well, don't watch the show or watch the show. Like, I mean, the only thing I can kind of compare to that I've been seeing is like The Walking Dead, where I've been reading the books. The show is getting close to where the comics is, and it's going to eventually surpass it. I would still watch the TV show because I enjoy the hell out of it. And I'm sure the author of the books will change things to keep the books interesting, and yeah, like you said, I don't think there's much more to say about that. I'm excited. I can't wait for it. And it's it's going to be good. Any weekend I get to see Peter Dinklage do some more of that, it's going to be great. Yeah, like the way he talks to them is fantastic. His dialogue is always spot on. Did you see? Actually, I think I got this from you. I saw that Taco Bell is delivering.
Well, now hang on. Before the people that are listening to this put down their aids and go out and grab Taco Bell delivery menus. What happened is somebody was asked during a shareholders call or whatever they do. And they said, this is an idea that we're working on. So,
right.
It's like, once you start legalizing weed across the country, this is just the next logical step, really.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, it makes kind of sense. I could totally see Taco Bell's doing that. Pizza Hut does it. Why not? And I think there's even some Pizza Huts that are Taco Bells as well. And so, yeah, it kind of makes sense. Why not do it if people are willing to call and order that kind of food and get it delivered? Might as well. But yeah, I thought I saw it the other day, and I was on April 1st, so I thought it was an April Fool's thing. And I guess the people have actually been talking about that, like, hey, we'd actually like to do this. So.
Yeah, it's a genuinely considered idea. Like, they haven't worked it out yet. There aren't any pilot programs or anything like that, but they are designing it, if you will.
Right. Oh yeah.
So yeah, that'll be interesting.
Right. Yeah, no, let's see here. Yeah, no, you got any more TV news for us?
No, I think that's everything that I thought was interesting.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess now we'll get into Fury 7, and what we'll do is we'll talk spoiler-free about it, kind of our thoughts on it, and then after that we'll say when we're going into spoiler zone, and then that's when you can, if you want, tune out and come back if you want, and if not, just listen through if you've seen it. But yeah, what did you think of it?
Awesome. It was exactly what it needed to be. These are films that nobody was going to be converted to these by now.
Oh, yeah.
Either you're a fan or you're not at this point, more or less.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think if there was a conversion, the conversion rate for me actually was the third one, which I know a lot of people shit on, but the third one is right when everything changes. You had the new director that was on for the next three or four of them, and yeah, that's when everything kind of changed. So you're absolutely right. If you weren't a fan now, then what are you doing? You're not human. But yeah, go on. Sorry.
No, but just, and this movie was, I don't want to say more of the same, because that sounds bad, but it was, it didn't feel the need to really go off in any new territory, and it shouldn't have. These films have a tone and a progression and a set amount of zaniness to them.
Oh,
and
they're superhero films.
Yeah, but more or less.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this is Universal's kind of superhero film franchise. Like when the opening, and I'm not spoiling anything, but the opening scene, you're just like, you could. I would love to see someone edit in Ultron at the beginning of that scene, because it would totally be like, okay, I see that, because it's so over the top, but that's what you come to expect with these. It's, I went back and I rewatched the first 3, and they're totally different, especially the first 2. Like it's more about cars in those. And then now, it's all about family, of course, in the films, but it's more of like you have all of these characters they've built and they've developed over the years, which is saying a lot for the Fast and Furious series. And like you actually start to care about these characters now. And like if you would have sat me down after Too Fast, Too Furious and said, oh, by the way, in the 7th one, you're gonna walk away, maybe a little teary-eyed from how that ended, and like maybe a little like, oh, that was a good send-off. Like I would have called you crazy. I would have been like, no fucking way. Like that's one series I would have been like, nope, not gonna happen. But they've done it. Like it's a great. Like the characters, like I said, it's my words aren't coming out well, but to me it's like a superhero movie for car enthusiasts. Like it's so over the top. I can't tell you how many scenes that I saw where I'm like, how are they not being torn apart? But I don't care because I'm having fun.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, to me, one of my friends, like you said, if you're not on now, you're not gonna like it. And he was like, well, it's I don't believe that that's possible what they're doing. And I'm like, well, when you go see Batman or Superman, do you sit there going, no man can fly? Like, no, like enjoy it, enjoy the story. Like, do you watch a cartoon going, nope, that shit can't happen? like what kind of mentality is that when you go see those films? It's, I don't know. It's kind of like going into Disney and going, why is everything so happy in here? I want to leave, Like you have to expect that when you go there and enjoy it. I don't know.
Well, for those people, there's an Alice in Wonderland sequel coming, so,
You're right, exactly. Yeah, no, so it's, I mean, one thing, and this isn't getting into spoilers, I didn't like it first, but when I walked away, I think I enjoyed it better the way they did it, but there's a lot less rock than I thought there was going to be.
Yeah.
And it makes sense in the film, and also behind the scenes he was filming another movie in the middle of it. But yeah, I kind of liked, and then when I finished the film, I was like, I liked that there wasn't as much of him, and then when he was in it, it was super impactful. And those one-liners, those one-liners to me, I think, is my favorite part of the franchise now. His like, Daddy's got to go to work, like little things like that, where I'm just like, yes. And when he does, I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but no, it's in the trailer. When he does the rock bottom, the crowd cheered.
Yeah.
Like they got loud, and I was like, yes, that's what I want from a crowd. And it was fantastic. Like, I thought they did really well with the Paul Walker stuff. We'll get into that, I guess, in a little bit. I think they did well, with every character. The only thing that I think, and I'm nitpicking here, but that could have been done a little bit better, is they jumped a lot from like big epic location to another big epic location to another big epic location. I think it's like 2.5 hours or
two.
It's 2. Okay. Yeah. I think it was maybe a little long in the tooth. But that's it. That's nitpicking. I mean, that's not anything. Because I sat there and I was like, wow, where are they going to go next? And then I thought about Transformers. I was like, that movie, how many different places they went to and spent time in those locations is nothing compared to this. But I kind of got a little bit of that, and then I was like, oh, where are they going to go next? China, like, and they jumped all over the place, But I liked it. I liked how long they spent with each character. Even Ludacris got like a lot of screen time and some like character development
Yeah.
with a new person that they added in that's kind of a techie as well. So yeah, I thought it was great. I thought they spent enough time with each of the characters. And one thing that surprised me, because we all know Paul Walker passed away after like, I think they said like 80 or 85% of the filming was done.
Yeah, something like that.
So one thing going into it, and it's impossible for anyone to go into this film and not like look at him the whole time, every scene he's in.
Oh man.
Because yeah, I was wondering like where is it going to be his brother in the CGI, and where is it going to where in the film am I going to start recognizing that he wasn't there? And it wasn't until like the very end that I started, that's when I was like, oh okay, that's clearly not him. But I thought they did it really well. Like the scenes that, because what I heard was some of the scenes that I watched that he wasn't in, I thought he was in, and they did they did the filming very well with that. But yeah, anything else you want to put into it before we go into spoiler mode?
No, I think we're good of
oh yeah, but before we go into spoiler
here.
mode. Just I don't even know if I should rate this movie, but for the franchise, it's definitely on one of my it's one of my favorites, just because just how over the top it gets, just because of the characters in it, and what they did. It's probably my top 2 of the franchise. It's definitely in the top 3. Maybe top 2, but go see it. All right, so now we're gonna get into spoiler zone. So this is a warning. Go ahead and turn off or do whatever you need to do if you haven't seen the film yet.
Well, hang on, wait. Don't turn it off. Just put it on pause, go watch the movie, and then come back.
Right, exactly. And yeah, and if you're not into this franchise, you should try Be Human a little bit more because I don't know what you are. No. But yeah, let's get into it. So, I thought it was really well done. The end where, I was afraid they were going to kill him off. And then I read, that that's not what Vin Diesel and them wanted.
No, God, no.
Right, yeah. And I think it would have been a little, what's the word? I think it would have been a little bad if they would have killed him, especially in like a car accident or something in the film. And I like that he peacefully went away, and they showed the car go off and the send off from the staff and the crew and the actors at the end. And I think that whole montage is now like on YouTube. It's some rapper, Wiz Khalifa or something, did it.
Yeah.
And I thought that was brilliantly made, and that's when I realized that was not Paul Walker. I could tell it was CGI, but it was the only way to send him off, at the beach with his family and driving away like he did. And I mean, we know there's going to be an 8. I mean, way too much money on the table. And I think Vin Diesel actually said that they're working on the next one. And I think The Rock is going to kind of move into where Paul Walker was. I think he's going to kind of – you can't really replace his role.
Right, but you need a co-star of sorts like that.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't think they're going to – because Paul Walker was like – he was kind of the only white guy in the whole series, I think. I don't think they're just going to shoe in some Ryan Phillippe or something and try and get that. I know. I think the Tyrese and Rock, they're going to kind of step. I think The Rock, because he's so popular, like he every scene that he does is so over the top. When he grabs that gun, that was a Gatling gun at the end. One of my favorite scenes is when he's in the hospital and the news reporter on the TV goes, "The only way I can describe this is vehicular warfare." I was like, yes, that's exactly what we're seeing.
Yeah.
How fucking over the top this is. This is Twisted Metal. Like this is like chaos. It's literally a superhero film. Like that's what I walked away thinking. Like that whole opening scene, was it Jason Statham when his the whole opening scene where like he's just walking away like he destroyed everyone in the hospital. Yeah. By the way, I found out my stepmom's niece is one of the nurses in that scene. I had no idea. They filmed that in Atlanta apparently. But yeah, like that whole opening scene, I'm like, what the hell is he? Like, is he have superpowers? Or, like, how did he do all that? And I loved how over the top they made him because they need that. And I love that they didn't kill him because you know he's going to be back. Even though this was a revenge film, you know he's going to come back, and he's going to come back even stronger. And with who knows who else. One thing that I think that they couldn't avoid was the death of Han, because that's kind of the keystone to the Fast and Furious series as of yet. Like, that's kind of been the linchpin of the whole thing. And I loved his character. One scene I did run to the bathroom, though, was during his funeral, which I missed. But it was because the theater now serves beer, and I was an idiot and drinking too much. But I was excited for the film. I had a big tub of popcorn and I don't even know how many beers, and it was fun. Me and my buddy went, and it was a good time. And that was one scene I missed, and I was pissed I did. I'm sure I'll see it again soon. But the Han scene, so I don't know exactly what happened there. I know that there was some sort of chase at their funeral, but that's one character I was like, no, that's what got me into the series. When I found out, and I don't know if they kept it in the series, but my buddy was telling me that they had it in the credits or something like that his name was Han Solo, like spelled like Korean.
At the beginning.
Okay,
you
that's
could
what
see
it
it
is.
in the after Statham hacks the computers, you can see it on the screen.
Right, yeah, and that's super fucking cool. And when his character was so cool in Fast and Furious. Now, here's the thing. I like JRPGs. I like that whole outcast moving to like Tokyo into the city, or that whole Japanese thing where it's what was he called, a gaijin? That's the bad word for it. Yeah, I like those kind of stories because those are in how many different video games. So to me, when I saw that movie, I was like, I've seen this play out I don't know how many times on the PlayStation, and I got into it, and it was such a fish out of water like story for the Fast and Furious franchise. It was so different. That's what got me in, because I was not a fan at all of the second one. And the first one, I was like, why is everyone I wasn't a car person, but I was like, it's not really my thing. Like, it was a little Ed Hardy, I guess, for me. It just rubbed me the wrong way. And going back now, I enjoy them for what they are, but it was the third one that hooked me. That was the one that got me in, and I've enjoyed them ever since. And then we all knew that this was going to happen, where Han couldn't survive that, and it sucks because that actor's so good, and even when he's just eating chips in every film, like, he was just dope. He was so different from everyone else, and it's going to be interesting to see how they do that. Maybe they say he has a brother. He's a twin brother pops in. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
They can't do that, but I don't know. It'd be cool. They brought what's her name character back.
Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah, Michelle Rodriguez. They brought her character back. So who knows? Those films are so over the top. I love them. I've grown, like I said, it was no series have I ever not liked and then suddenly was in love with.
Yeah. And
then suddenly it took off like this.
This was an interesting series to say, because like when they made 3 and it didn't do spectacularly, it did okay, but not.
Well, you know what? I think, and people say that about 3. I think it started with 2, because that's why we had 3 the way it was. Because I think 2 was so bad, it got so much bad reviews, no one was on board for the third one.
Right, but then even still, I know you're kind of the rare exception here.
Right.
After 3, even a lot of the people who stayed on after 2 were kind of like, I don't really want any more of this.
Right.
And then they came back with 4, and it was like, well, hang on, there still may be something to this. And then Fast 5 was the one where it really just kicked the door down.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. And I think that it was the time period where, like, Vin Diesel was on the first one, and then he didn't want to be on the second one because he had, I think, Triple X coming out, and what was the other one? He had a few movies. He was big then. Riddick, yeah, exactly. The Chronicles of Riddick. But then after that, apparently he wasn't doing too. Like, he was like, okay, I need to go back to the well a little bit, and that's when they were doing the third one. I think that's when, he got the call, and he was like, yeah, I'd be interested in doing an after credit scene because I would like to be in the fourth one. We get everyone back together. it's such a weird transition. You know what I was thinking would be a dope video game if Atlas, the guys who did like Persona and stuff like that, did like a JRPG, but for like it's like a dream game where like they did the Tokyo Drift game, but like as a JRPG, or if someone did that kind of game and made like a JRPG for the Fast and Furious series, but made it with racing. I know that's super fucking weird. I'm probably the only person that would ever play that, but I think that would be cool.
What?
But yeah, no, think about it. Think about this. Think about this.
I am, and it's giving me a headache.
No. Think about, because see, that's the thing. I think, why are there no video games for Fast and Furious series?
Because they did one for Too Fast, Too Furious as an arcade game. Because
Oh,
that's
they did?
really hang on. They did one after Fast and Furious. They put one out on consoles, and it was garbage. It was
Oh, okay.
absolutely horrible.
Right. I know that they did was it Forza? Just did a Fast and Furious like
DLC pack, yeah,
DLC
for the
pack or
cars,
something.
yeah.
Right.
That's-
No, I mean, believe me, I know how weird my tastes are. I know that no one else would play that game, but I would fucking love that if they made a Tokyo Drift JRPG game where it was half RPG, half racing, and like, I don't know, I think it'd be super cool. You get missions and shit. Like, I don't know. I'm probably the only one that would like that, and whoever owns a Vita, but like me and 10 other people.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that'd be cool because I mean it's basically Persona. Like it's basically those classic JRPG games where you're the new guy in town, and then some wacky shit happens, and you have to go battle a bunch of people depending on what kind of genre or what kind of world you're in. I mean that's every JRPG. So I don't know. But anyway, we're getting so off topic. But the movie itself. I don't know. I mean, I think we've said enough about it. It's great. I don't know why anyone would not go see this film. Like I said, I was totally in shock when one of my friends was like, "I didn't like it. I thought it was too over the top." And I was like, "But that's the point. Like they're driving cars through 3 buildings."
Yeah.
Like in Dubai, like it is over the top. I go, "What did you think when you saw the last film?" And Vin Diesel flew from one highway to another to capture someone that flew off of a tank. Like, it couldn't get more superhero than that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's yeah, and so let's see here. Who were some of the newcomers in this one?
I had a cast list and I lost it. I think this was Ronda Rousey's premiere for this franchise.
Right. And Kurt Russell too.
Yes, God, I forgot Kurt Russell.
Yeah, I think he's going to kind of be like the Nick Fury of the next few Fast and Furious films, where he gives them missions. And he's like, "Guys, so this shit happened. We need you to fight these people with your cars." Like, yeah, I could kind of see it going in that direction, where and I guess that's like I said, that's when I went and took a piss real fast, is when that whole Han scene, funeral, and when they met him. So I was like, wait a second, why is Kurt Russell here?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well,
like,
and the thing that got me at Han's funeral was everybody kept saying, it kept coming from Tyrese, and they would repeat it a few more times throughout the film, "No more funerals." And every time somebody would say that while Paul Walker was on screen, it just man.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I think I saw that scene. I think that's when I went to take a piss, was when Tyrese was talking. And yeah, it's super sad. Like that's what sucks, because that franchise could not be any bigger than what it is. And it's super sad to see, him go like that. And it's one of those things, like when you're watching it, it's impossible to take that out of it.
No, and it just makes it hit all that harder.
Right, exactly.
Every scene
exactly.
where it's just, this is where you need to stay. This is where you belong. And you're thinking, just, God, there was a time where he didn't come back.
Right.
And it makes it that much more emotional. I went and saw it, when I went and saw it this goes up Wednesday, so it'll be yesterday, Tuesday, at like a 12:30 showing, and it was still like a half-packed house.
Oh,
which
wow.
was nuts. But I have never, not since not since they showed the Wisconsin men's college basketball team, have I seen a bigger group of grown men cry.
Right.
Just so openly. Like, nobody was ashamed of it. They were like, yeah, deal with it.
Right, yeah.
And
no,
it hit, man. And I was with a lot of them just trying to hang on, like, okay, we can make it. And then at the beach, that was rough. And you could see on everybody's face, like, you could tell this was filmed after.
Right. Yeah, no, exactly.
And then at the end, the two of them driving down the road, and then when his lane splits off, it's like that. It's like, screw it. I'm crying. I don't care.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's that last scene. That was the best send off, and it just sucks. It sucks. Rest in peace, Paul. I liked how it said at the end, for Paul and stuff, and he was such a big nerd too. Like him and Vin Diesel. Like Vin Diesel he's posted videos of them playing World of Warcraft together.
Nice.
And and they had like top level characters. Like it wasn't like the level 10 or 20 running around. They were like raid level shit. Like they were huge nerds, and it was, you can see the chemistry of everyone on set, that these people, they've grown over the last, God, it's been 15 years. Yeah, like it's 2001, I think, was when the first film came out.
That sounds right.
Yeah, it's been a while, and you can see the chemistry between all of them. Some of the new characters I'm looking at now, Tony Jaa, I thought he was great.
I loved him.
Yeah. Where he's what did he say?
Too slow.
Too slow. Yeah, and it reminded me of the Too Soon Junior from the first film. Yeah. And the other guy, the one from who's in Guardians of the Galaxy and Blood Diamond, and I'm gonna mispronounce his name, but it was where'd he go? Dejimon Huns. I'm screwing it up, but basically the guy, remember he was kind of the same character in Guardians of the Galaxy. He was kind of like the henchman. He was a guy in the helicopter in this one, chasing him down towards the end. But yeah, he, when it blew up or whatever, I knew he wasn't going to come back. But did we see, like, Tony Jaa? He fell down like an elevator shaft, right?
Yeah, I think he's done.
Yeah, I think
his character's done.
Right, yeah. It's going to be interesting to see who they kind of put in the next one, because I think this is doing what Expendables wanted to do, but failed miserably.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is kind of becoming the big action summer blockbuster with all of these action stars, but it's actually good and not... it's over the top, but enough to, like, I don't know, like, you're in for the ride. You bought ticket, you know what you're getting. You're getting in the, It's just like I said, when someone's going to see Superman and they're sitting there going, wait a minute, that guy can't fly. That's impossible. Why? This is ridiculous. And you cross your hands. That's the kind of attitude I think people that go see this and don't like it. Like, it's like, what did you expect?
Exactly. Like,
films?
Yeah, you know what you're getting. You're getting all of the visual over-the-topness and fun that Transformers should have, but without any of the pretend seriousness. Like, it has its core moments of these things we take seriously, just not the fact that we're driving a limited edition supercar through 3 buildings in Dubai, hundreds of stories up. That we're not taking too seriously.
No, exactly. That's just for fun. It's just, and it's just such a fun film. I'm not sure there's much else, we can say about it that, it's just cool. And all the little winks at the camera that The Rock does, all the little winks at the audience that the film does as a whole, like when they talk about the tuna fish sandwich and stuff like that, that's what was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I hope they continue that, and it's going to be interesting to see, where they go from here with it. I think it's I don't even know what they're going to do with 8. I don't even want to speculate because they could go in any direction now.
Yeah.
Even if they don't, if they close it with this one, I'd still be happy because we got some great films. I doubt they would though. Too much money on the table.
Yeah, no. This, as long as everybody still wants to say, you know what, we'll make another one if people want to see another one, and the fact that this one, like almost doubled the previous April record, like I think that kind of speaks for itself, really.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was great, and I'm excited for the next few, and it's. Oh man, but yeah. So, I mean, if there's anything else you want to talk about before we put a pin in this one?
Just American muscle over imports all the way.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be cool. I mean, I think the next few films is gonna I don't even know. I don't even know what kind of car that was in the that scene where he jumps through the buildings.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is a $7 million car, and I was like, well, if I was a car person, I totally understand that, but I have no idea what it is. So, who knows? Maybe the next one they are actually in planes and boats. But I think that was the second one, right? With boats.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I don't even know where they would go with the next one. Maybe they'll be in space. I'm just kidding. But
don't even joke,
yeah.
man. You never know.
Right. All right. Yeah. So, I mean, next week we should have a pretty packed podcast. We're gonna have Daredevil. We're gonna have Game of Thrones. I'm gonna talk about MegaCon. I just got the 3DS, so I'm gonna dive headfirst into some of these games. We should have Mortal Kombat, probably a little bit to talk about because I think it comes out Tuesday.
If they're doing a midnight here, I don't know if they are or not. If they are, I will be there.
Yeah, exactly. They're doing it here, so I'm gonna go run and pick that up. And yeah, we'll talk about that, and yeah, should be a packed episode. So, we're on iTunes now. I don't know.
Yes.
Don't know why we didn't talk about that, but we're on iTunes now. I've been telling some people to get into it, so to download it, and if you give us a review. Hopefully it's good. And if you want to send us an email, send it to wegeekpodcast@gmail.com, or you can tweet us, and we'll read some of your questions on the show. But yeah, next week should be packed, and that's about it. So, Captain,
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 Captain.